And I remember when I was a little kid, when he wasn't around, I would sneak in the bedroom and get his old photo album, look at him in that little Navy suit, dancing girls and stuff, big old aircraft carrier with all these planes on it. And I just said, boy, I want to do this one day. So one day he was polishing his boots or something, I come in there. We called him Daddy James. His name was James Quarles. I said, Daddy James, you know what? He said, what do you want, Jughead? I said, I want to go out and be a sailor, too, and get on one of them aircraft carriers. How many planes was on there? Oh, about 100. I said, oh, boy. I was just sitting there just dreaming of wearing my little tight suit, my little Dixie cup on top of my head, you know, walking bow-legged, you know, like the sailors do in the movies, you know, all them planes up there, and I'm walking around, my little 2-inch chest sticking out, you know, and that's what happened.
That's amazing.
My parents got killed, and I went away to live with my biological father, and he was a very wicked man. I lived there about 6 months, and he put me out. I don't know what he's mad about. He told me, well, you don't like the way I run things, get out of my house.
And
Yeah,
how were your parents killed?
My stepfather killed my mom and then committed suicide.
Oh, dear.
When I was 16, yep.
Oh,
Buried at a double wedding. I mean, God forgive me, double funeral. Had him laying at her feet. The day my oldest brother went in the Air Force.
And then your real dad.
My real dad lived in the city, up in northern Ohio.
He kicked you out?
Later, yeah. Well, see, after we buried my mother and stepfather, then me and my kid brother stayed with my grandmother for a little while, but she lived right across the street from our old house, and every time I would go.
How old were you when your mom and her husband?
Going on 16.
16.
It happened July the 8th of '56, and I turned 16 Halloween.
Okay.
So my brother left for the Air Force after we buried him.
Yeah.
And then he told me and my kid brother to stick together. So we went to live with our grandmother across the street from our old house. And but every time I opened the front door, I'm looking at my old house and all this stuff is coming back. And I just said, I went down the street to my other grandmother. I had both of my grandmothers were living, and I went down to my dad's mother and asked her, could she notify my father if I could come and visit up in the city, up by Cleveland, Ohio, a place called Mansfield. And so he sent me a bus ticket, and I went up there. He was married, had 2 kids, you know, 2 girls. So I went up there, and he acted pretty nice the first month, but I didn't realize he was getting a check, you know, from my Social Security from my mother's death. See? And then he convinced me to get my younger brother to come up and live with him too. See? And so when I go back to my hometown, I talked my other brother into coming up there. I said, man, we should be together, you know. I'm 16, he's 14. And he hated the old man, you know. He just grew up hating him. See, I never knew him when we were kids. And anyway, my brother starts stealing cars and doing all kind of wicked stuff. And then I know what it was. We had to ride a city bus to school. And I don't know if you know what talking smack is. That means just talking more than you're supposed to. And some guy said, yeah, my old man hollered at me. I started to knock him out. I said, boy, if my old man look at me crazy, I'll knock him out too, you know. Just talking. Kids talk on a bus, you know, a bunch of it. And we got home, and we're sitting there eating spaghetti. And my brother Sandy said, hey, Rock, tell Dad what you said about him on the bus.
Oh, jeez.
I said, what? Tell Dad what you said about him on the bus. It scared me to death when he said that. I said, man, this man may kill me, you know. And so I said, I didn't say nothing. Yeah, you did tell Dad what you said about him. I said, I didn't say that. He said, what did he say about me, Sandy? Well, Rocky said, if you look at him crazy, he'll knock you out. When he told my dad that, my dad jumped across the table and choked me. You know, choked me all the way from the kitchen to the bathroom. And I said, you better take your hand off of me. Because something went through me, and I'm thinking about all them years he ain't been around. Now after 16 years, he's going to touch me. Boy, that fire come out of me. I said, get your hands off of me. I wasn't a little boy then. I turned into a man. I was something like a couple months before 17. He said, you don't like the way I run things. You get out of my house. It's okay. I went to school the next day. I was sitting in science class and started crying, you know. And I just left school and walked out and went home and packed my bags and went down to my buddy's house. And my buddy, he worked in a bowling alley, setting pins, you know, before they had the automatics. And so Bobby said, "What you doing, Rock?" I left home. I said, "My old man don't love me. They don't love me up there, nothing. I don't know what to do." He said, "You can stay with me. Let me ask my stepmom." His stepmother's name was Mint, M-I-N-T. And so Bobby says, "Miss Mint," he called his stepmother Miss Mint. Miss Mint said, "Rocky ain't got no home. Can he stay here?" And she said, "You got a job, son?" I said, "No, ma'am. I'm only 16. She said, "Well, you can go work in the bowling alley with Bobby and Richard, you know, her stepson." And says, "You know, we all have a job to do in this house." And I said, "You do?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Your job is to buy potatoes. That's what I buy. I buy the potatoes and the onions and something. I had to buy the vegetables. And we would make like $5.67 a night working in the bowling alley, setting pins. So there were three of us. I would buy the potatoes, the onions, and celery and carrots or something. And then Bobby, he spent his whole money on meat. And then I think Richard, he did the milk and butter and stuff. We had jobs to do. She said, "You can stay here, but you must work, son." I said, "Yes, ma'am." So I stayed there about a little over 3 months, and then I was heading to school, and Bobby didn't tell me he was going to quit school. You know, we done turned 17 now, see. And so Bobby said, "Well, this is my last day, Rock." And him and I were the same age. I said, "What do you mean the last day?" He said, "Man, I'm quitting." I said, what you quitting for?" He said, "Man, I joined the Navy yesterday." I said, "You can't join the Navy." He said, "You can. Somebody signed your dad's name." I said, "What?" He said, "I passed the test, man. I'm leaving Monday." Back there, you have to go to the post office and sit on the step. And then they send a bus and they drive you down to Columbus, Ohio, the capital. I said, "Man, what am I going to do, man? You're my best friend." He said, "Well, Richard's still here. He's my younger brother's age." I said, "Man, it ain't the same. You know, we were both sophomores, you know." I said, "Well, man, I'm going to go quit too." He said, "Well, you got to have a letter from your dad." I said, "Ain't you my dad? You want me to sign?" I said, "Let me take my test first, you know." So I went down to the post office the next day. The post office closed like 5, and we got out of school at 3. And I went up there and said, "What do I want to join, the Navy or Army?" I had the Navy, the Army, and the Air Force all in the post office building. So I went up there. I was heading to the Marines, you know, and the guy said, "Hey, come here, kid." I said, "Where you going?" I said, "I'm going over here and take the Marine test." He said, "You know, boy, you really look good in white." I said, "What?" Oh, man, that's a nice bell bottom. That little hat broke down on the side of your head. Just be strutting, man. Wow. He showed me some old pictures, you know. I've seen those sailors up there, they're dancing, and, you know, big old waves coming up over the ship. I said, "Yeah, man, I think I will, you know, take the test." So I went in there. I don't even know if I really passed. But he said I missed like 2 questions out of 50. He said, "Buddy, you're in." I said, "But, you know, some people are just born to be a sailor." And, you know, when I seen you coming up them stairs, and I see the way you kind of walk like a sailor, I said, "Yeah, I'm eating that stuff up, too."
Of course you are.
And I said, "Wow." He said, "Well, looky here." He says, "All we need is your dad's." How old are you? I said, "I'm 17. He said, "All we need is your dad's signature. Can you get it in the next 15 or 20 minutes?" 15 or 20 minutes? He knew I was going to go outside and get somebody to sign, you know. So I said, "Bob, he told me to sign, get the paper signed together. You're here, Rock. That we go together." And I said, "Oh, okay." So I signed my dad's name, John T. Crockrell. I went up there, and this recruiter looked at me, and he said, "Boy, that looked like your dad's signature."
Oh, boy.
And he knew what we was doing, you know.
Yes.
So see, them recruiters got to get a quota every month, you know.
Yeah, sure.
So I come back out, he said, "What'd you say?" He said, "I'm leaving Monday, too." He said, "We leaving together. We got to go to Columbus and get sworn in the Capitol, you know." So Monday, my stepmother seen me downtown at the little drugstore where you used to get cherry cokes, you know, all the kids. So my stepmother said, "Rocky, do I see you?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "I sure wish you'd come home." I said, "I don't." Her name is Frida. I love her to this day, though. But I said, "No, Frida." I said, I don't want to come home. You're what your husband said to me. Treat me like a dog, you know. She said, yeah, but he don't really mean it. He just don't know you. I said, well, I'm still his son. He don't have to know me. All he got to do is know my name is Robert E. Crocker. I'm named after his brother. He could have treated me. He know I done lost my family and everything, and he treated me like that. I wouldn't even treat a dog like he treated me. She said, can I just ask you, I've never asked you for anything, but can I ask you one thing? I said, yes, ma'am. I said, please spend your night at home. Please spend the